Hi gang, I'm just here to check in really quick on our multi-genre. I want to see how everybody's doing with their research, so I want to make sure that we're on the right track. If you look on the wiki, you will see that I have linked to the three pieces that I am using for my multi-genre. And if you look to the exemplar, you'll see what I have there. So I just really quickly, and we'll go over these because I'm going to use them for other parts of the multi-genre. Once we get to step 4, which we're going to start with next week, I'm going to need to write a summary of one. I'm going to need to take another one and make connections. And I'm going to take the other one and I am going to look at it critically, right? So we're going to do things with those pieces, but right now we're just trying to find the right pieces. So what I found for my multi-genre is I found a story. That's my prose piece. Your prose piece doesn't have to be a story. It can be an article. It can be a letter. It can be a report. It can be an essay. It can be anything that is just written and is not a song or a poem. So my prose piece is a story. It's called The Gift of the Magi. You can read that over. I'll read it next week when I do my summary of it. Okay, I'll read it for you next week. But right now, you can read it over and you can look at it. The reason why I chose that story is because it has to do with hair and identity. It has to do with a girl who really identifies herself with her hair. She finds value in herself because of her hair, and you'll see what that ends up doing with her and her relationship. Um, and there's hair cutting involved, and that's something that's kind of important to me because it's something that I do when, as I've said, when somebody close to me dies. So that's a story that I had read a long, long time ago, and I brought it in because it fits. The other one, also to do with hair cutting, but has to do more with having long hair, is George Thorogood's song. I don't know if you guys know Thorogood, but back when I was young, he had a couple of hit songs, and this was his main one: "Get a haircut and get a real job." That's my lyrical. So I've linked to the YouTube video, but I also have the lyrics, the poem. So that's what we're looking for our poetic lyrical. You don't need to find a poem. You can find a song that has to do with your topic. So get a haircut, get a real job. I like that one because when I was young, when I got out of high school, I grew my hair long for a while actually, right through university, and I taught for a couple of years with long hair. But when I was young and just out of high school, people look at you very differently because of that. And I remember feeling a little bit like the speaker in the song, which was people looked down on me and thought I wasn't going anywhere because I had long hair, and people around me who had their own issues were looked at as somehow being better than me. So by some people, it's not widespread, but that's why I chose that song. So that has to do with hair and identity, right? What other people think of you. And then I chose a kind of an interesting one for my visual and multimedia. My visual multimedia one, I just chose an ad. I chose an ad from the United Colors of Benetton. I linked it here as well. And it was a really controversial ad when I was young because there were people said that it had some kind of racial and racist undertones within it, and it did have um, uh, it, some of those are tied up in the hairstyles of the children in the ads. So you can take a look at that, and again, we'll look at it more closely. Now, once you find your texts, right, you want two of each: prose, poetry, and visual. But you want to take the main ones that you pick, like I just talked about my three main ones. And you want to get a pen out and kind of write notes on each one. Why it's important, what connections you have, what observations you're making, what questions you have about the text. You want to kind of annotate that. Now, you don't need to do that for all the text you find, but you should do it a little bit for those top three, because that's going to help us moving forward onto step 4. So I keep saying step 4, and the reason why is because step 3 is a discussion step. We will on Friday look at step 3 really quickly. You can look at that right now. It's just kind of a series of questions getting ready for a discussion, but we're not going to have the discussion. So that should take you only a few minutes, 20 minutes on Friday, finish that up so that we can move on to step 4 on Monday. Okay, so I might come back on Friday and make another really short video just discussing step 3 a little bit, but then we'll get into the meat of the project next week with step 4. And step 4 will probably take us a couple of weeks, and then we get into creating our own stuff. So if you want to look ahead, go ahead and look ahead, but no need to rush ahead in this project. I'm keeping the pace. We're okay to keep the pace that I'm going by. All right, I'm going to call a lot of you guys this week. I guess Mr. Cormier is calling a number of you as well. We split the class because he doesn't have a home room. So he's calling some of you that he does know. But remember, if you have any questions about this or anything, my email is there on the wiki. Email me. I'll get back to you. All right. Have a good week, guys. Bye-bye.